From each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are. From memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight. Reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I am Jeffrey, and we have made it to the year 1982. The first film of the year 1982 is Disney feature-length film number 152, and that is a film called Night Crossing. Night Crossing came out on February the 5th of 1982, and remember way back in the 1940s? We watched a film called Victory Through Air Power, and this might as well be a sequel to Victory Through Air Power because there's machine guns and air power and lovely stuff like that. But let's turn it over to you for the synopsis about the first film of the year 1982.
So for Night Crossing, the synopsis is true tale about two men planning to escape from communist East Germany in a hot air balloon, but only if they can take their families with them.
And that's how exciting this film gets. But we have made it to the year 1982 for another film.
It definitely opened up like a documentary.
It
Not
was
like what I thought it was going to
it
open up
was
as.
as dry as a documentary. But
You think they reused any of the footage from Victory Through Air
no,
Power?
Victory Through Our Power was animated.
Not all of it.
This was the final film that the Walt Disney Productions recorded with the photo phone, which was introduced in 1932. But speaking of 1932, we're in the year 1982. Any opening thoughts or anything about Victory, or not Victory Through Our Power? Just kidding. The Night Crossing,
I
Germany,
I have
communism.
okay. I had never heard of this.
Shocking.
Um, and just by telling me the title, I would have not guessed that this was what it was about.
Yeah, East Germany versus West Germany.
Hmm.
Fire, machine guns.
Yeah. Um, so where to dive into this? Definitely historical live action, more serious than what we've been watching.
Yo, in like the first
Lately.
5 minutes, someone gets shot like by a machine gun like a bunch of times, like a child.
Yeah. Well,
Disney, happily ever after.
did he just turn 18? Or had he,
Don't.
or was he 17 still? I don't know. It was a teenager, late teens. Um, because he was tired of how things were going in East Germany and he was going to make his way over to West Germany.
Yo, he drives the thing through the thing.
Because everybody knows what the thing is.
The bulldozer through the lookout tower.
Yeah. So, it opens up with a bunch of like documentary scenes talking about war and how things have gone. And then we end up in like this quiet little neighborhood in East Germany with some people in a pub. They were talking about how they were all going to escape because apparently that's what these people do. They don't really ever make moves, but they talk about wanting to get out of the political climate where they're at, because obviously it's communist, like we said earlier, and they don't agree with how things are. It is super weird because throughout the film, you can see people from West Germany will come over and visit their family members in East Germany because by this split of East Germany and West Germany, wherever you were living is where you got stuck. So you didn't get a choice, and families were split up. And
Some more gray and some more blue. Sorry.
okay, that was very not appropriate. Um, but they obviously want to go see their family still, but the people from East Germany are not allowed to go visit in West Germany. If you want to try to visit, like if you have an emergency or something, you're going to have to apply for approval, and it's not guaranteed. Because we do find out that one of the women in here, her mom is not doing well, and she's living in West Germany, and she's very sick, and she puts in a request to go visit her mother because she's not doing well, and it gets denied. So,
Yeah, you have to like sign in and out on the paper even when they go visit anything.
yeah. And then one of the grandmothers had came over to visit the family and had said earlier in the movie, had said, "Oh, they don't care what I bring in. They just want to make sure they know everything I'm taking out." So it's very easy to get into East Germany, but it's not very easy to get out. And they were talking about how this barrier exists between the two places, and if you try to cross, it has like automatic guns that will shoot you.
Yep.
And I didn't see any fire.
No, I meant fire for when they like light the balloon on fire later.
Oh, wait a spoiler alert. Anyway, um, so basically we have these two families that's living in East Germany. They want to get out. They kind of get fed up with everything, so they get this secret scheme to build a hot air balloon and attempt a daring escape over the Berlin Wall to freedom. Um, Hearing the title of this movie, I would have never pegged it to be a hot air balloon
No.
movie. That would have not been my choice of escape, I guess, but I guess out of all the other options, you have a better chance. I don't know. Um, so it's set during the Cold War time, and these people are not happy, so they're plotting and plotting. And this guy is an independent contractor, and he has, it seems like the brain of an engineer because he has come up with this scheme on his own. So he talked to his friend that works for him, and he was like, I've got this idea. We're going to make a hot air balloon and we're going to escape. We're going to take our families. We're going to get out of here. We talk about it all the time, but before one of our other sons is old enough to do this and get killed too, we're going to make sure we do this. So they start drafting plans on this and decide like this is the things we got to go get. So they start like scouting out where to go get the supplies. And one of the things they have to get is a ton of fabric. And the fabric is like a weird,
Like a tent fabric.
yeah, or like a sleeping bag.
Mhm.
It's that kind of fabric if you think about it. And then they go buy it from this lady and they're like, well, we need like some, I don't know, it was like some kind of ottoman, like 1,000 something yards. And she's like, oh,
1,255 square yards.
oh, you're there. She's like, well, that's a lot. What are you doing with that?
Building tents.
Yeah. Building tents and sleeping bags.
Or the camping club.
Yes. There's a lot. There's a lot. So anyway, could you imagine being the person that's getting that order? What about if you lived on commission?
Hell yeah.
I guess I guess technically you're not living on commission though if you live in communist Germany, so guess that's not a thing. Anyway, so they we never really see them go get the propane tanks, and the propane tanks were really weird. But they needed propane, they needed some kind of basket thing. The only thing they really showed us in their adventure of supply getting was the fabric for the balloon. And then the guy that is working for the independent contractor stays home and sews the fabric together to make the balloon. So they've sewn these pieces together. They build their own propane burner and they test all sorts of different things for liftoff and all this stuff. They figure it out. They're going to do it during night. The partner that works for him, for the independent contractor guy, he ends up backing out because his wife is like, no, I'm not getting my kids involved in this. Da da da. Like she gets scared, so she's not doing it. So the independent contractor, his wife, and his two sons are gonna go. And he eventually tells his oldest son about this, and his oldest son is kind of like helping him go set everything up and get ready. So the night finally comes, they go take off. The woman is in the house cleaning the bathtub
Black
because
mold.
when the SS comes in, I don't want them to think I was a terrible housewife. I was like, are you serious right now? At this point, I wouldn't care what they found. Like, anyway. And ironically, right before she leaves, she puts on a sweater. She goes over to the bedside drawer, grabs out a pill bottle, puts it in her bag, and leaves. Keep that in mind because that pill bottle is going to be very important. Anyway, they make it to the site where they're going to go launch this balloon in the middle of the night. They get in, they leave the car door open. The car's just going to be abandoned in the middle of a field somewhere. And they take off. It's pitch dark. Any thoughts? No.
Just as dark as this film is.
Very dark. Well, they take off. And, it's a balloon. It's a hot air balloon. So you've got fire from a propane tank blowing that balloon up. Well, last time I checked, fire lights up things. So you got pitch dark and this lit up balloon trying to escape. And all I could think was, this is a terrible idea. You may as well have just taken off during the daytime. Because
Do you know why they couldn't take off during the daytime?
that's not the name of the movie.
Because the movie's called Night Crossing.
Anyway, so they're going. And the son's helping the dad navigate. He's telling them like their altitude and all this stuff, and like they're trying to figure out the timing because that'll tell them how far they've gone. And they end up in this cloud. And the cloud, unfortunately, puts out the fire. The gas is still going, or the propane is still going, but the fire is gone. So the balloon just starts going down. However, before the balloon went out, the fire went out, the SS guarding the wall in the guard towers, one of them spots it. He doesn't know what he's looking at, but he calls it in because if you're in the armed forces, obviously, and you're supposed to be watching something and you see something suspicious, you're going to call that in. Just like I said, this is a terrible idea. And they're all kind of trying to figure out what it is. And then they're like, oh, never mind, it just disappeared. Okay. So this balloon, it's coming down the sky. It crashes into some trees. The family makes it out okay. The wife drops something out of her bag. She gets it, puts it back in her bag. And then they kind of start walking around in the woods. The dad tells them to stay right where they're at, and he's going to go scout the area out and see if they've made it to West Germany. He finds out that they have landed in the hot zone.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yep.
The balloon kept moving.
Oh, yeah, the balloon took off after them. After they got out, the balloon just started going back up because it wasn't weighed down anymore. So he goes and looks around, and he sees that they are in the hot zone. Like, you don't want to be in this because there's landmines you don't want to step on. If you get too close to the wall, it's just automatically going to start shooting at you. Um, you are in the land that you do not want to be. So he carefully starts walking back to his family, and he tells them exactly where they're at, that they are still in East Germany, and they have landed in the one spot other than the exact wall that they don't want to be on. So he says, we're going to wait till daylight because there's landmines and everything around here and tripwires, and we don't want to trip anything. So we'll wait till daylight and then we'll make our run back for the car. What would you do in that situation? Like, what would be your thoughts?
Okay, gonna run back in the morning. I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, daylight comes and they start making their way back to the car as fast as they can, back to the car before they're caught and found out. The balloon, like Jeffrey said earlier, took back off. It actually ended up making contact with the wall. It got shot multiple times. Um, and then the military's coming to look at this, like, what is this? Where like the high up major comes. He starts inspecting it. He says, I want all of this stripped down and I want it to go to Berlin. I want it examined. And then he just keeps talking about this is really great ingenuity. Like,
Hmm.
this is top class.
I don't like this film.
Yeah. So anyway, they finally make it back to their car after some very scary scenes where they thought they were about to get caught and they thought the car was going to be found. And they make it back to the car, so they make it back at home. And then the dad is like apologizing to his wife. I'm so sorry that I put you guys at risk and I failed you and da da da. And she's like, it's not your fault. And then the sons come in the room and the oldest one says, we were talking about it and we're gonna make it next time. Because we have to try again because the SS is going to look for us now, and they're going to find us, and you're not going to let them find us. So basically, they're pep talking the dad up again to be like, "Hey, we got to try this again because we almost made it, so close."
Yep.
So he starts doing it again. He starts talking to his friend. At this point, his friend tells him that his wife's mother that I was telling you earlier is really sick, and she tried to put in a request to go see her mother in West Germany and was denied. And at this point, they've pretty much changed their mind. They're going to go too. So now they're going to have 8 people on the next balloon. So they have to start going and getting all the supplies quickly as they can to make this balloon again. And at this point, you have all these scientisty people talking about the different kind of material, and I want you to go to every store that carries this, and anybody that tries to buy this, I want you to alert us because they're going to do this again. They're going to do it again. And needless to say, our little people do it again. And they launch again at night, this time with everybody. Some scary moments. The oldest son and the guy's partner took a motorcycle to meet them, and it stalled, and they almost got caught several times because the SS is close on their tail now. The neighbor of the guy's partner apparently is very nosy, and she's always into everything, and she tells the SS everything. They're very suspicious. They've been leaving a lot at nighttime. The other one has a car that has a trailer on it. I'm sitting here thinking, man, why can't people just mind their own business? You're not involved in it, so why you gotta be telling on everybody else?
It's no worse than the pharmacist.
So yes, I told you guys to remember that bottle, that pill bottle, right? So they're scouting this crash site over and over and over again. There has to be something. Well, they find that woman's blood pressure medicine. And I guess months have passed when they found it. So the name and stuff has been washed off. So they don't know who the name is, but they go to the pharmacy. They take the bottle there and they're like, I need you to tell me what this is, and I need you to tell me um, all the people that you have that are on this medication. The pharmacist opens the bottle and sniffs it. I don't know any pharmacist that can do that. Pills don't usually smell. I mean, some of them do. Some of them smell bad. But I have never seen a blood pressure medication smell as a nurse. Never.
Taking the wrong kind.
So that was really weird. Anyway, so that almost got them busted. Um, the fabric lady almost got them busted when they tried to go start buying fabric again. So multiple things almost got them busted again. But they do try to go do it at nighttime. They load up, they take off. Um, the oldest son and the partner are helping the independent contractor navigate the flight, and they're kind of trying to figure out the altitude, how far they've been in the air. The dad, the independent contractor dad, doesn't think they've been in the air long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, the SS has found them again because it's dark and their balloon's lit up. And luckily for them, the major and his partner and a helicopter are going to fly right to them. But by the time they see them in the air and start heading towards them, the fire goes out again. So they lost them. They couldn't see them anymore. And at this point, the fuel is going again, but there is no fire. It's not going. So the guy's like, I am so sorry. And the woman that had backed out the first trip looked at her husband and said, I'm glad we tried. Because at this point, she has accepted we're probably all going to die on this thing. They start going down through trees. I thought they were going to go straight into the power lines at that one point. Did you think that?
They would have put a jolt in this movie.
No, Lord. Anyway, um, they just made it over the power lines and then through some trees. They crash. Um, they get out just like before. They get out of the balloon and abandon it. And then the independent contractor and his partner tell the families to stay where they're at. They're going to scope it out and see where they ended up. So they ended up in this like little kind of like abandoned farm looking like thing, I guess. And they see a police car coming with lights on. So they run into the barn. But then they just kind of stand there, which I thought was weird because if,
What are you gonna do at that point?
well, I mean, yeah, but you ran, but then you hid, but you hid in the open, so they see you still. I don't understand your concept of this. Like, are you a 2-year-old playing hide and seek? I don't know. Anyway, the police officer shines the light on him and says, You, sir, come out. And then he comes out with his partner and he says, Excuse me, can you tell me, are we in West Germany? And the officer says, Yes, you're in West Germany. He runs up and just hugs the officer and then runs over and tells his family, We've made it. We have made it. They abandoned everything, all they had. They just took their bare essentials, like obviously meds, and I think the wife had taken like a few pictures from home, but left everything, just their families.
But they made it.
And they made it to
Just
freedom.
like we've made it to the year 1982.
And I think I enjoyed this film a lot more than Jeffrey, but I mean, it is what it is. Did you like anything about it?
The dude from Willy Wonka was in it.
Yeah, you said that. Which dude was it?
The guy who plays Slugsworth.
I don't remember who Slugsworth is. That's not one of my favorite movies, so sorry.
No, that's your first mistake.
Whatever. Anyway, I didn't think it was terrible. IMDb rated this a 6.5 out of 10. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
It's more than you rated the one last week.
I know, I enjoyed this one a lot more than I enjoyed it last week. It kept my attention. It had some suspense and supposedly is based off of a true tale. So there you go. So I guess you could say technically that the park reference for this is the Aerophile.
We made it.
Yes. So no, it was a movie. We did it.
We made it to the year 1982. Yeah, we did it. We made it. You can watch it too.
This does not float its way onto my list, though. Sorry.
Then what is your list upon a star?
So my list upon a star is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, 101 Dalmatians, The Fox and the Hound, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, The Apple Dumpling Gang, The Strongest Man in the World, He's Still Holding On, number 9. And then number 10, Napoleon and Samantha, a sweet little gem.
Great movie. Much better than this one. My list upon a star still is number 1, 101 Dalmatians. Number 2, The Rescuers. Number 3, Mary Poppins. Number 4, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Number 5, Peter Pan. Number 6, Robin Hood. Number 7, The Fox and the Hound. Number 8, Alice in Wonderland. Number 9, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And number 10, Pete's Dragon. And we will put that right here. But yeah, we made it to the year 1982. We are cruising right along in our watch. Speaking of our watch, our next film. Okay.
Our next film.
Our next film is from July of the year 1982.
Ooh, we just bought it in the middle of the year?
Disney
We just started off 82?
Disney feature-length film number 153. And this next film is the first film in 23 films and 5 years to have a ride at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So then what is your guess for our next film? And what is your guess for the last film that we watched that had a ride at Walt Disney World?
The next film, I think, is Tron.
Next film is Tron from July of 9th, 1982. Deep dive number 152, Disney feature film number 152 is Tron, which is our next film. And then that is the first film.
How exciting.
That is the first. Speak for yourself.
I just want to say that this watch through will not be our first time trying to get through it.
Whatever.
We did try to watch it before the
didn't
ride
we
opened
try
at
to
Walt
watch it
Disney
like in a hurricane? Was it in the hurricane that we tried to
No.
watch it? Oh.
because it wasn't finished then. So we tried to watch it before we rode the ride at Walt Disney World because we weren't sure if we needed to kind of like have a background of what it was to understand the ride.
I think you fell asleep, right?
Jeffrey fell asleep and I was bored out of my mind and I just cut it off.
Yeah, but
we're gonna try it again for you guys.
well, we have to watch it again. This is the first film in 23 films, 5 years to have a ride at Walt Disney World. What was the last one that we watched that had a ride at Walt Disney World? From 5 years ago.
From 5 years ago?
23 films, 5 years. I just verified.
25 films 5 years ago.
23 films, 5 years, yeah.
Oh. The Many
The
Adventures of
Many
Winnie the Pooh?
Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, yeah. So this is our first film since The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh to ever ride at Walt Disney World. This queue is way better than The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh's queue. But either way, we'll see you then. But before that, thanks for hanging out with us. We are on Instagram.
Yep.
We are on
Spotify.
Spotify and YouTube at Deep Diving the Magic. That's where you can see all this happening. Thank you for your watches, your reviews. Hold on, we'll get there. We have our watches. Or thank you for watching. Thank you for your views. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for liking.
Thank you for liking.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for telling your friends. If you want to write to us, listen, if you want to do all this hard work, you can, Miss Girl takes notes one time and she wants to take over the whole thing.
Take notes. All of that came from my memory.
Yeah, speaking of memory, you can email us about your favorite memories about this podcast at deepdivingthemagicpod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to hear from you. But our next film again is 153 from July of 1982, and it is Tron. But before that, thank you, and we'll see you then.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.